Hello YouTube, my name is Maureen and welcome to Reen Reads. I have another review for you today and this is something that I really don't know how I feel about. Um, I feel like I need to adjust this so you can see my shirt. Yeah. Anyway, I really don't know how to feel about this book. I've been thinking about it more and more. Um, and I definitely liked it after I first read it. I had that like, oh, I just finished the book high, but now that I've let it sit for a couple weeks, I really don't know how I feel about it. And today that book is, and I know I'm gonna make some people mad, and know I am, but this is for The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Juno Diaz. This book follows Oscar. I really can't remember his last name. Rodriguez Garcia's. Um, I always, before I read the book, I thought his last name was Wow, and I was expecting an Asian family. So I was a little shocked when I was like, wait a minute, where is the Asian part? But definitely was not. It's about Oscar and his Dominican family. And it follows the story of Oscar mainly. And you know about Oscar's mother and her kind of upbringing and how that affects the lives of her children and how they live and their reactions to things. Um, a lot of the book, and I think this is just a very like postmodern take on things. Um, and I know like David Foster Wallace does this, but hopefully there's no spoilers in here. But you can see footnotes here, and they're not really extensive footnotes, but it's mainly footnotes about the history on the Dominican Republic, which was fairly helpful in reading the book. I felt like they weren't like superfluous um, footnotes, like they actually like made sense. They weren't there for they weren't there for a stupid reason. They were there to serve a purpose, which I thought was helpful. But I feel like that's like a thing now in like literature today that like people like do these crazy like conventions and like try and put this, I don't know. It's like I feel like books can't just be books anymore. They have to have this like weird formula, like they have to, do something quirky. Like you have to do something quirky to stand out like in your form. You can't just like have a good story. Not to say the story wasn't good. I did like the story. Um, Talks about a curse that is put on Oscar's family, how he tries to break that curse, and the curse is following his family. Um, but yeah, this book it took me a little bit longer than I thought I would to read it or to just get through it. About, let's see here, about 335 pages, so a little bit over what I would say is average. Um, I liked, I did like the characters in this book. I think the strongest part of the book was the characters. Um, I just loved how they were like fully. I feel like they were fully developed, and they all had a story, and all of their stories connected. And they all needed, without one of the characters and without, like, you wouldn't have the story. I think the story is just the characters. I think that what may have irritated me is that the story is so dependent on characters that it doesn't, I don't think it has a plot at all. Um, and I loved another thing I did love was that it, Juno Diaz, since he is Dominican, he does throw a lot of the Spanish language in there, which is interesting, because I didn't look a lot of the words up, I kind of just used context to determine what they meant, which I could have been wrong, but I felt like I was like learning something by reading the Spanish in there. But I'm sure I'm really irritating someone because I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me grab this. But that's just the way I feel about the book. I just felt like if there was things I liked, it was the characters themselves. But as far as the story was very tragic and very sad. But I thought the characters and characterization far outweighed the story on this one. So, would I recommend this book to everybody? Absolutely not. I would really only recommend this to people who not necessarily have refined taste in books, but I definitely wouldn't recommend this to someone who strictly just reads YA or strictly reads like, easy, sappy, romantic things. I would really only recommend this to the people who I know read quite a bit. If you're into foreign language, if you are Spanish, or of Spanish descent, any type of Spanish descent, I would recommend reading this. But besides that, I don't know if this is the book for you. So, I do apologize, but that's just the way I feel. But for the characters themselves, I liked this book. So, that's all I really have to say about it. And I'm going to leave it at that so I don't piss any other people off. So, YouTube, until we meet again.